Welcome everybody to the Sports Culture, all things sports. It's Jay Banfo, and we got to talk about Rich Paul. But before we get into that, like, comment, share, subscribe, and thanks for your support. So I've been covering this Rich Paul, Austin Reaves situation ever since Rich Paul dropped his new podcast show called Game Over. But there's one individual who I haven't talked about who's inserted himself to the discussion, and that's Austin Reaves' agent, Reggie Berry of AMR Agency. Rich Paul revealed on his podcast that Reggie Berry approached him at the Lakers-Hawks game, and they had a 5-minute discussion on everything that's been going on. Now, I was hoping either somebody in the NBA or Lakers organization talked to Rich Paul, but Reggie Berry is actually the most important figure who could have been inserted in this situation. First of all, Austin Reaves is in a contract year, and he's looking for a max deal. This season, Reaves has been straight balling, and it's looking like the Lakers will give him that max deal. Now, why would Rich Paul, an NBA agent, suggest anything in regards to a trade? Now, if he has those thoughts privately, cool, I understand. But to go on a podcast and possibly affect in any way a huge payday, that's just uncalled for and disrespectful. Now, think about this for a second. If Austin Reaves was a client of Clutch Sports, do you think Rich Paul would have suggested such a trade? The answer is no, and Reggie Berry has every right to put Rich Paul in his place. Now, to my surprise, I've seen a lot of media pundits disagree with Rich Paul and his actions on his podcast.
Combo though too, because obviously that's just
He's got to
podcaster.
He's got to stop. He's got to stop that. If you're gonna, first off, why do you have a podcast anyway? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I got nothing against Rich. I don't understand why you have a podcast, bro.
Well, his argument would be that players have podcasts.
You're
while
not
they're playing
a
in there.
player.
Yeah.
I don't know any other agents who are sitting there on the mic talking. Plus, everything you say is going to be a representation of LeBron, even if he don't feel that way. Now you got LeBron having to come out and be like, "Hey, Rich Paul has his own opinion. I don't know. I don't affiliate with that. Just because he's saying they want to get off Reaves, that doesn't mean I want to get off Reaves." That shouldn't even have to be a conversation. It's weird, bro. Why do you have a podcast, Rich? You are an agent, meaning you're supposed to be in the background running all the other stuff. You coming out at the forefront and giving your opinions on the game and like saying this stuff, it doesn't work. Are there any other sports agents that have big podcasts right now?
No.
In the NBA? Zero.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And you know why people know you, Rich. Listen, I got nothing but respect for Rich. You've worked your ass off and done a good job building your own network, your own business. You've done great. You and Maverick have done a fantastic job. It's one of the stories of all time when we talk about an athlete putting on his friends and his friends doing a great job to give it back to their to the guy that helped them, build a brand around them. They've done a great job. Rich Paul's a legend for that. That's your lane. And you've done that and you've earned that. He's obviously, I think he's engaged or dating Adele, one of the two. Everything's flowing for you, bro. You got everything. You're cool. You shouldn't have a podcast about basketball. Shouldn't happen. It's a conflict of interest for one. Just because your main client, the client that built this with you, plays for the Lakers. So you talking about Lakers roster and who they need to trade as an agent is wild.
Yeah.
But I just thought in this situation right here, if you want to have a podcast, have a podcast. But when you're talking about, I just looked at this. I don't know how professional this is. I would have a problem with that.
From an agent standpoint.
Yes, I would have a problem about that. About you talking about somebody else's client. Obviously, AR is repped by AMR. Jaren Jackson Jr. Triple J is repped by CAA.
Yeah.
I'm just like, so what's the play?
You've been accused of influencing deals that have been made. And we all know you're attached at the hip to LeBron James. So when you say something about something that directly impacts LeBron James, that is going to be the assumption, whether fair or unfair. And Rich Paul is entirely too smart not to know that. Austin Reaves is a teammate of LeBron James who has ascended and is averaging 26 a game. They both wear the purple and gold. This is LeBron. Remember, he picked up the player option. Wasn't like the Lakers was offering some long-term deal for LeBron James. Picked up the player option, over $52 million. A lot of people is expecting this to be his last year in LA. You want to go for it. Austin Reaves is balling. All right. When healthy. Luka Doncic's averaging over 33 a game, 35 a game, right? LeBron is getting into his groove, almost had a 31-point triple-double last night. But you're looking at some of the deficiencies of the Los Angeles Lakers, and you're saying they ain't beating Denver, they ain't beating OKC, they probably ain't beating San Antonio. Okay, what they gonna do? And then Rich Paul comes out and says that and brings up somebody's name like Jaren Jackson. From a basketball standpoint, one could argue it makes sense, but the point is, saying something like that, Austin Reaves would be gone. That would benefit LeBron James, who'd have the ball in his hands even more, and we're supposed to ignore that? Now, again, LeBron's not lying. Rich can be his own man. Trust me, Rich has his own opinions, okay? He thinks for himself. Respect that man. The flip side to it, however, is that there's also a history with LeBron James directly or indirectly influencing team moves.
To be honest, I don't think this podcast lasts for too much longer. It was a bad idea from the beginning, and if he only talked about the business of being a sports agent in the NBA, nobody would have a problem with that. He hasn't done that so far, and it's clearly a conflict of interest to be speaking on NBA trades, whether it's hypothetical or not. Also, LeBron and Rich Paul will always be connected, so whatever Rich says, people like myself will be quick to attach LeBron James to it. I know in today's society, everybody has to have a voice, but that doesn't mean we have to accept the things you say. Now, with that being said, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.